Hello, and welcome to the Notary Business Talk, the podcast dedicated to sharing ideas, strategies, and techniques to help grow your business and improve your life. And now, with more than 2 decades of notary business experience, your host, Abraham Zamora, the notary entrepreneur.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Notary Business Talk. My name is Abraham Zamora, and I am the Notary Entrepreneur. In this episode, we have Ronnie Mickle again joining us. He has been on this show quite a bit, in fact, in the last couple of weeks. At this point, I think I'm going to dub him my unofficial co-host. But the reason he's been on the show so often is because recently I've had the pleasure of reading his blog posts that he's been churning out lately. And I think this is something he's recently started doing more regularly, which is why I've taken note and noticed what he's been writing. And so, it's just such good information that I don't think I myself could have written as well as he has. And so that's why he's on the show again today. And today we're going to discuss, since we're entering the season, 'tis the season, right? The holiday season. Today we're going to discuss the five holiday marketing tips to help grow your notary business, to help you sort of set yourself up, not only this year, but moving forward into the following year. But really quick, if you guys don't know who Ronnie Mickle is, he is the owner and founder of Unlimited Ink Notary, which is a notary signing service company. And he also started NotaryStars.com, which is a training and coaching, live training coaching service, online educational website for notaries who want to grow their business and just grow personally. In fact, just today I was on a live marketing course that he was doing, and just invaluable information. But for those of you who've missed the last few shows, I would recommend you guys go back to the previous podcast episodes. We have 3 of them that we've recorded recently with Ronnie. One of them is talked about sort of the things that have changed after the pandemic, now that it's slowed down, and the kind of things you should start doing or revisiting if you haven't done this stuff recently, like your listings, your databases that you're on, your resumes, the kind of signing agencies you're working with, just updating. Let them know you're still in business. During these times, Ronnie mentioned in that podcast that, a lot of notaries, because it starts slowing down, they leave. And a lot of these, what do we call them, Ronnie, zombie listings?
I call them, what did I call them in the last episode? I said shell listings or dead listings.
Yeah.
It's where basically listings have been abandoned and you're kind of trying to claw your way to the top to fight with listings that are taking away from your ability to shine. Absolutely.
And just letting people know, hey, I'm still here. I'm still looking to get work. Please take note. I am here. And so that episode sort of discusses what you need to do to make sure that people still know you're in business. Then we had another episode, which is really good. 5 free tips to increase your notary business. I've gotten a lot of response from a lot of you listeners through email saying how much value they got from just that one episode alone. So I definitely encourage you guys to go back, listen to that episode. And then the third one we did recently was 5 ways to save on cost as a notary business owner. All the way from your cell phone to how to save money on gas. Ronnie goes over a bunch of real simple, kind of to the point tips on how to save money. We all go through these cycles, ups and downs, and as a smart, fiduciarily responsible business owner, you want to make sure that you manage your notary business like a proper business owner. So we discuss those things. But today, we're going to discuss about the future now. We're going to talk about how can we set ourselves up now so that we can reap the rewards in the future. So let's go ahead and get into it, Ronnie. The 5 holiday marketing tips that we want to consider implementing now that the holiday season is starting to grow our business, which, by the way, is different than just regular marketing. This is a special type of marketing. So why don't you quickly kind of give us an idea of what inspired you to write this blog and what you think in general is the value of marketing during the holidays?
Well, it's hard to find an exact starting point. So I want to start it like this. In my marketing course, I say never buy anything for a title officer or escrow officer you hear notaries saying, I buy cookies and I drop them off. Actually, in some states, this can get you in trouble. There are certain states that you can't buy business, or even cookies could be a problem. Well, it starts from that point, but during the holidays, there's a difference between buying a gift to buy your business and using that holiday to say everybody in this office is getting something because you're a human being.
Right.
So that's where that launching pad is, and learning that defining moment of, did you buy them something for that business, or did you use a holiday to drop a little treat on their desk or treat with the resume, to make that resume more desirable. Also, if you're doing marketing, there's a lot of things for the holidays, but I always like to, use this time of the year to kind of get people excited about marketing their business and doing different methods, because I think sometimes we get to end of the year and we're like dead or tired and we like that little break right at the beginning of the year, and then February, March, April, we're always revving up. And here's why I like this time of year the most. We're in August now. In order to get your holiday marketing together, you really need to plan in advance. We've got Labor Day coming up. We got Halloween coming up. We've got Thanksgiving come up. We got Christmas coming up, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, Hanukkah, or just, the season. And then we have New Year's coming up. So you can use all of those chances to market to your potential clients, and use every single one of those as a way to market to your clients. And also, big kicker here is, doesn't matter if it's slowed down, end of the year is still going to be busier than any part of the year, because everybody who wants to close in this fiscal year is going to try to be closing in this year. So you're going to have that same end of year buzz that you always have, no matter what the market's like. And you're going to have more opportunities to meet some escrow officers, work with them, and then you're going to solidify those relationships for the beginning of the year, where it tends to be slower.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so essentially it sounds like what you're saying is the holidays is the excuse to go in there, and it doesn't seem sort of out of place or unusual for people to do this sort of thing. And so this is where we need to sort of leverage culturally how these holidays are perceived in terms of gift giving, in terms of showing gratitude, but in a way that benefits us as business owners. Because the law of reciprocity says, if you give, you shall receive, right? But if you do it in the way that you're going to talk about here today with these 5 tips, it seems like it's the best way to maximize your marketing efforts. So, some tips, right? So one of the first points you make on these 5 marketing tips is holiday marketing should be non-religious, non-specific, and seasonal. So let's talk about the reasons why we should consider this as part of a marketing strategy.
Okay, first of all, we are definitely in cancel culture. At Notary Stars, I've actually written this in the article as well. I have to catch myself about not putting my religious beliefs into teaching the students. And I have to be very careful about that. When we market to title and escrow, you never know what faith that person might be. There are people who don't celebrate, Halloween because they think it's, the day of the devil, and that's okay. That's their right to believe those things. You have people who don't celebrate Christmas because they don't believe in Christ, and you have people that don't celebrate Hanukkah because they believe in Christ. Right. Then you have people who don't celebrate Thanksgiving, because you have to remember, not everybody in the United States is actually from the United States. We are a melting pot. So you've got to learn to use those marketing tips, be non-specific. You can, Thanksgiving also comes with fall leaf colors. You can make something that feels Thanksgiving-y, but also appeases someone that's not celebrating Thanksgiving. You could make something or purchase something that appeals to the Christmas season, the season of giving, in order to, appease, whatever faith someone is. I've actually seen great Christmas cards that you can make in Canva that have holiday trees with every religion on it, which I thought was cool. I would say stay away from that, but you can do that for family and friends. But you want to come up with ideas that are not specific to that particular day. Halloween, you can still use pumpkins, but not carved pumpkins in your advertisements. You can use You can use fall leaf colors for Thanksgiving. You can even use Christmas lights, but maybe not the Christmas tree. You can find ways to celebrate, snow looks like in some parts of the world is very indicative to the holiday season. Fall leaves, candy is indicative of that season. So you want to come up with ideas that are not specific to any religion and won't offend anybody, because you never know who you might be sending that to or placing that down in front of.
Would you say like New Year's would be the exception since it's not really specific?
I think you can. There may be people who don't celebrate New Year's in the United States, and this might sound weird, but
yeah.
If you're part of the Russian community, you would know Russians have a different New Year that they celebrate. And actually knowing about other cultures, and if you do find out someone doesn't celebrate a certain thing, giving them a gift that celebrates their culture, as long as it's appropriate, can also help you. When I was living in Los Angeles, this is over 20 years ago, I learned very quickly coming from the South. I was waiting tables 20 years ago and going to college, and I'd come up to every table and wish them a Merry Christmas. And I had a group of Jewish men that tell me, you can't wish Merry Christmas to everybody, buddy. We don't all celebrate it. And I didn't realize that it was not, I didn't realize, it was 20 years ago. And this is why this is carried with me. I learned these before I even became in the notary industry. But then I started learning, about some of my Jewish clients that would come into this restaurant that was in West Hollywood, which has a huge Jewish community surrounding it. It's basically built by the Jewish community. And learning about holidays so I could wish them a happy holiday, and if it was appropriate to wish happy for that holiday, because if you don't know what the holiday is, it might not be a happy holiday. You can learn about other people's faiths and things, and when you know it's appropriate, you can also use that. I had a boss once in my life. She was really tough on me, and I have to tell you, one of the ways I think I won her over was I learned a little bit about her religion, because she would always be off days that we weren't, and she had to use her vacation time, which I don't think she thought that was fair at the time, to celebrate those holidays. So I would send little emails like the day before and wish her happy that day. You can learn those things, but I would say keep a very thin line on if you don't know, don't do it. Put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think what you're. By the way, I think being able to do something like that, where you can really get to know someone. I mean, there's nothing like taking a genuine interest in someone that'll doing that alone just will make them like you so much and will build so much rapport. But there's so many different people in an office sometimes, and so your second point here, it says holiday treats should reach everyone in the office. What do you mean by that? I mean, are you talking about being like inclusive to everybody? And is this kind of part of what you're talking about being sensitive about everyone's beliefs and ideas and thinking? Is that elaborate on this one here?
Yeah, so it should be something that you can share with the entire office, not like a particular person. I actually stole this idea from you. I've learned just as much from you as you say you learned from me. One of the things that you do for your, marketing tactic is you gave me this Rubik's Cube, and, your question to them were, are you puzzled? It was like a cute little Rubik's Cube on a keychain. You can get like 30 of them on Amazon for like $12. And, your marketing tactics, are you puzzled what a good signing agency would how it would benefit you, and little cute ideas like that can be used and implemented during the holidays as well. So you want something that can reach everyone in that office. You want everyone to remember you. So let's just take the holiday season. Mm-hmm. Maybe you find some inexpensive but nice looking snow globes that have leaves floating around, and it doesn't have any specific holiday, and then they have to look at that during the holidays in order to see you. Something that encompasses, all of Halloween, all of Thanksgiving to Christmas, all of the snow season. Something that they would want to keep on their desk, a paperweight with a snow globe inside of it, or something that you could pass out that's not really buying anything from them. Is something that makes them reminded of you, and so they could do it. And here's one thing that you can do. We actually bought beautiful candy dishes for the holiday season, mm-hmm. That would last from October to December. And we, you can spend a little money on this, but it's worth it. You can get probably a box full of candy. I mean, a box, and I don't mean Reese's and all these things. We had little mints and the little mints and the little flavored candies, but it was wrapped with our logo. And we said, why don't you put these out for your guest? And it had, compliments of unlimited ink on it. So you can have these ideas to do, and you're not buying anything. It's there for their people who are coming in. And even if you're not working with them, they have to see your name the entire holiday season.
You just gave me an idea. Like for Christmas, for example, I would think, they sell these little, what do you call them? Like these little boxes, like gift boxes, little tiny ones, where you could maybe put a piece of like one of those mint chocolates. And it's just so cute and little, but yeah, I mean, and
I just want to show you this because I have them sitting here, and it's something that I'm doing. So I have beautiful little chocolates I bought. I spent $300 on I don't know how many pounds of chocolate. And here are the little boxes. You actually mentioned it. I'm going to pull one out. These are the little boxes that you can fold up, and it fits in exactly the size of 2 little chocolates. So I can fold it up. It's like a little origami thing, and it's like it'll fit the little chocolates in, so they can all have a little chocolate with unlimited ink on there. And it comes with little ropes, so you can tie it together. I'm not going to assemble it in front of you right now because I don't want to embarrass myself, because I'm pretty sure there's going to be a night at 2 o'clock in the morning when I'm putting these together, and we'll have to pull out a beer to get me through it. But, for those of you, it doesn't have to be that creative, but, little box of chocolates that everybody can have. Think wedding gifts.
Yeah.
When I had my wedding, I love bragging about this, and I also like to say that I'm no longer married, but when I got married, I had a lot of fun. And on the one side of the wedding, we did Brazilian chocolates that we stayed up all night making hand. We had to get the ingredients in the U.S. and make, they were called Brigadeiro. And they were little boxes like this, but a lot more classier, that we just folded up, and everybody got like a chocolate Brigadeiro. But for the groom side, everybody who knows me in my personal life, I'm a t-shirts and shorts kind of guy, and I drink whiskey. And so on the groom side, we had these beautiful chocolates, but on the groom side, it was a little mini bottle of Jack Daniels rolled in a little mini paper bag. So you had a little little compliments. Getting back to the thing, you can make little gifts that go a long way for people. Think wedding gift part, like little things you might put on the table at a wedding.
So on the record, Ronnie says buy little whiskey bottles for your escrow officers. Oh, no. That's not what he's saying. No.
It's on camera, but we're not clipping this out to make me look bad.
It's a joke. Now, for those of you who are just listening to the podcast, realize this podcast is being recorded. And if you want to check that video out, you can always go to the Notary Entrepreneur YouTube page, along with the website, and possibly your website, Ronnie. Your YouTube page.
We upload the replays for all of your podcasts, whether we're on it or not, on Notary Stars under, if you just go under podcast, we have your podcast. We have several other industry leaders podcasts on Notary Stars because we try to be an informational highway. And then we put our recording of this on our YouTube channel as well.
Awesome, which is on with Notary Stars YouTube channel. Great. Mm-hmm. Okay, now, so let's talk about being, so the next point here, it says, be sincere and don't talk about you. They can see, so don't talk about you. So make it about them. What do you mean by that? Like, how do we do something like that when we're marketing to them?
So during the holiday season, first of all, it gets a lot more stressful. Coming out of COVID, it might not seem as stressful this year, but it gets a lot more stressful for title agents and escrow officers. Be sincere with your gifts. Mm-hmm. When you go by and drop them off, don't ask for a business. You might leave a business card in there so they know who it came from. They can see who it comes from. They know what you're there for. We talked about this and other things as well. Be kind when you send those cards. Don't send your fee schedule and all these things. If you're going to spend time on a holiday card, make it a holiday card.
Right.
Make it a sincere holiday card, and that will bode well for you longer and more effectively than combining, here's my fees, I'm looking for business. That just is a backhanded compliment. And I wrote it in the blog article like this. If I walked up to you, on the street and I was like, happy holidays. And then you were like, thank you. And I was like, I charged $125 to $175 to travel from Scottsdale to Phoenix, and I'll bring it back to your office. You would be like, I don't want to hear your happy holiday anymore.
Right.
So just be sincere. It's a good time to get in front of them. It's a good time to show them your soul which honestly, people have to like you
Right.
when you're marketing your business. You need to be likable. And you want to be likable. You don't want to be the person who's always begging for business. Sometimes it's okay, and it will bode well for you to just say, happy holidays.
Yeah. Yeah. People love doing business with people they like and trust. And if you're going in there with this, okay, I just gave you this, now give me some business. It's almost like it wasn't a gift, but it was sort of payment for something you expect back.
It's a backhanded compliment.
Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. Yeah. And so it quickly turns into a negative, and it will backfire on you. Absolutely. So be very conscious of making it about them and not you trying to get business. If anything, it gives you the excuse to go in there and talk to them. Now, one of my favorite books of all time is a book called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And the whole purpose of that book is to learn how to get people to like and trust you. And one of the things among many is remember people's names, right? So one of the things, I'll share a little tip that I do see, here's your excuse to go in and talk to an escrow officer, a title rep, real estate agent, whoever it is you're marketing to. And I ask for their names, and I on my phone have a Word, one of those Google Docs. And after I leave, I write down their name on a Google Doc on my phone. And then in parentheses, I'll write a description of what they look like, tall, glasses, something that will help me remember who they are. The next time I go in and see them, I'll pull my phone out and I'll look under that title, say so-and-so escrow. I'll call them by their name. Off the bat, you've won brownie points. But if you're in there and you're wishing them a happy holiday, it's the perfect time to start asking questions. Any plans for the holidays? What do you guys got going on? How's business? How long have you been doing this? Oh, wow, a long time. Yeah, it's probably slow, but you've been through this before. The kind of questions that get them to start talking about themselves, take notes. And I think if you want to get anything out of this is to get to know them a little better so that you can start to build that rapport. People love talking about themselves, and the more you can learn how to get them to talk about them, that's going to go way further than you asking for business, without really earning it. And we believe in earning what you get, don't we, Ronnie?
Mm-hmm.
Very good. Now, the next point here is holiday cards must be sent at least 7 days before the holiday, maybe even a little sooner, just to give it some time. Let's talk about, this one seems pretty commonsensical, but it's important to make a note of it. Why put this in here, Ronnie? What is...
I actually recommend calendaring when you're going to send those out, when they have to be done, when they have to be filled out, if you're going to mail anything. And here's the thing. It needs to be done before the holiday so that it reaches them before they're out of the office, especially if you're going to mail anything that's, like chocolate or anything like that. But even just your card getting there before the holiday, you want to make sure that it arrives on time. If I was working with a notary company that mailed me something that arrived 3 days after the holiday, I would think, what are they going to do with my documents? Look at the mail system. And we all know during the holidays, as we get closer to Christmas and through, basically the last 2 weeks of the year, you may not even get the mail. So I would say, if you're mailing locally, mail it at least 7 days in advance so it gets there. Also account for time that people take vacation time. Sometimes they take Christmas Eve off or the day before Thanksgiving and the day after. So you want that card to arrive right before they would be leaving the office. Now, some of them are still going to take vacation time for a week before the holiday. Most people take their vacation during the summer in the U.S. or during the best part of their year. But you want to mail those out at minimum of 7 days. And I would schedule it, even if 10 days. If it gets there before the holiday, it's always going to look better than arriving after the holiday.
Absolutely. Yeah. And two good points there. I always say the way you do one thing is the way you do everything, right? And so the point you made is if your card's getting there 2 days after Christmas, for example, what does that say about you, right? What kind of person are you in terms of...
I do want to say one thing. Last year, and you don't have to send them out 7 days. You can send them out throughout the entire month. Yeah. I would say, after that month starts ticking, for that holiday, you can send them out throughout the month if you want to send them out earlier. We actually used 2 different Halloween cards last year. One of them was we sent out just the Scream mask on one side of the card. We did it in Canva, and then on the back it said, your holiday, your notary experience shouldn't be like a scary movie, because
Oh,
that's,
yes.
that's everybody can recognize and associate those. And then we had another one was just a holiday card. So you can do A/B tests with cards like that. And I will tell you, we got more reception back from the cards that we sent out that were just a genuine holiday card.
Right. Absolutely. I will mention a service that I like to use. It's called Send Out Cards. It's a way of sending out physical not handwritten, but they'll write out whatever message you want in there. You can add your signature to it. It's like $2 a card or something like that. And I did a quick video on kind of how that works. If you guys want to check that out, you can go to notaryentrepreneur.com/send out cards with an S at the end of that to check that out. But that's who I use, and I really like using them. And I think another point that I want to add to that is if you're going in to drop these cards off, right? I mean, that's your opportunity to talk to them. But if you're mailing these out, I think there's value in them receiving the card. But I would say to send it early enough where you have at least maybe 3-4 days to follow that card up with a phone call. If you're not going to be able to physically be present when you hand it, and then just call and say, hey, is so-and-so there? Hey, I was just calling to, wish you a happy holiday. Did you get my card, by the way? Oh, great. And then start the conversation, maybe inquire a little bit about, don't take up too much of their time, be considerate. You can usually tell by the tone of their voice, whether they want to chat or not. So they might be busy or whatever. But, what do you think about maybe following up with a little phone call after the card, Ronnie?
I think that's a really great idea, and I know that's something that you do. Like I said, I learned things from you as well. That's not something that I implemented last year, but it's something that I'm doing now when we send something out. Hey, did you get that? And it leads to conversation. You leave it on the surface, and you learn to ask those questions that you go over as well. And it works well, and it gives you a second opportunity in front of them. The more you're in front of your client, as we know from traditional marketing or digital marketing, the more you're in front of your client, the more you're going to, be the obvious choice when they need something.
Yeah. The way I see it is, in terms of marketing, we'll use like a war analogy. Before you go in with a strike team or, a ground forces, they'll usually go in, with a bunch of bombers, and they'll just bomb the whole place to kind of get it ready for ground troops. And this is what we're talking about, right? The cards are getting everything ready to maybe go in there and strike and attack. In this case, in a very positive way, to go in there and strike a conversation. And it gives you a reason to call. It's the excuse that we're talking about. So, okay. And then the next tip is consider donating to their favorite charity or, what is it? Give options. Is that what it says? Yeah. Give options. That's interesting. I've never thought about that. Give us your thoughts on using this, and then how would you find out? I mean, I guess through asking, but what's your idea behind this?
So there's a couple of angles. This actually will work better with a group of notaries, to be clear. One thing that you can do, and this is a great thing, is during the holidays, you take a big box or a small box for canned goods and you wrap it and you say, I know you're going to have clients coming in and out. I'd like to, we are trying to collect canned goods for the local community, a local food closet, and any of your clients that want to drop off anything, that may make them want to come back and visit. You can do it with realtors, you can do it with realty companies, you can do it with title agencies. Anybody that comes in, if they want to drop something off, or your employees want to drop something off. So here you are, you've got this box sitting there to collect canned goods or toys for, however long.
Right.
And they're having to see this box, and they have to remember, and everybody loves the kids. Everybody wants to do something for the kids. When you see one of these boxes and you work in an office, you think, I got to get that present in there. I got to get that canned good in there. They're thinking of you. You put the box there, then you get to come back and pick up the box and thank them so much, so you can make your donation. The second thing is donating a portion of your signings for a month to help feed the children, or to a local food closet, or anything. And if it's direct business, you can tell them, for every signing that you give me, I'll donate 20% of that signing to help, or I'll donate a finite amount of portion. You need to be able to ante that up, provide a receipt. You can't run fundraisers that don't actually have something. Right. And you can also say that the donation will be made in your name, your office's name, as well as my office's name. so you can share, that receipt with them, to make sure that they know that you actually followed through with it. This is a great way from, mid-November till right before Christmas, to keep a box. And, then you've got 4 opportunities there when you drop off the Thanksgiving box to feed, families, and then when you drop off the holiday box. You can even make it where, I'd like to do a challenge with you guys. I'm going to put this box here. I'm a local notary, whether you use me or not. I'm going to put this local box here. I'm going to give it to you, and I'm going to come back on this date, and I'd love to see your office donate, 10 sandwiches to the local community with a banana and an orange juice, and see if they'll do it. And then say, it's just a challenge, and then come back and pick it up, and say, I'm going to come back and pick it up on this day, and we're going to feed the homeless together. I'm actually going to go out and feed the homeless. This is a great way for you to connect with your community and with people and get people to see you. Now, I understand a lot of people are not going to go out and feed the homeless.
Right.
And please, if you're going out to feed the homeless, stop TikToking about it. That's a whole nother that's a whole nother topic about me, but talk about being genuine. If you TikTok feeding the homeless, you are not being genuine. You are looking for TikTok counts and trying to get monetized, and I'm not a fan of that. But that's a whole nother topic. But you want to just show people genuinely that you care about your local community, especially if the title office is in probably a bad area of town. They may even know some of those local homeless people. I go to the same QT gas station on 16th Street here in Phoenix almost every single day, and I feel like I have a homeless best friend up there. He knows me, I know him. He knows if I can, I'll help him. And I think when I leave my car, sometimes I leave it unlocked or the windows down because it's hot here, and I know he's watching my car, so nobody gets in my car. Some people have relationships with their homeless in their town, and we have to help each other. So don't use this as just a marketing idea. Be genuine about it as well.
Yeah, and this is a very localized, specific strategy. And I think really the power behind this is the amount of time you'll be allowed to spend with the kind of people you want to create influence around. And again, like before, you definitely do not, absolutely to a minimum, you don't want to mention business. You don't want to talk about signings. If they know, by now they should know who you are. They know what you do. They should know what you offer. At this point, it should only be about kind of what you're trying to do, how you're trying to help the community. Don't bring up business. Get to know them. And
here's the thing,
what an
Abraham,
opportunity.
This could be really beneficial to them, and this just leads into another conversation. This could be really beneficial for them in a lot of ways because, essentially they know what you're doing. You're trying to get away and work with them, right?
Sure.
But we're putting the community first, and you can go up and pitch it to them like this, and this is 2 ways to do this. 2 other ways to do this, and get creative. Take my idea. Never just take an idea. Warren Buffett always says, take something that already exists and make it yours and make it better, and then you'll always do well. Right. Here's 2 ways to pitch this. You could say, why don't we have an event together? And I'll invite as many realtors as I can get in the door, so that and loan officers, because they need to talk to those people.
Right.
We will, provide the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly. Doesn't cost that much. And we'll have a sandwich making party to see how many sandwiches we can make to feed the homeless on Thanksgiving Day before we close. And, or the week before we close. We'll see, time it out. We have to refrigerate this stuff, and where can we take it to, and get in touch with that local facility and say, hey, I'm going to put this together. How many sandwiches could you need? That's one way of doing it. And then the other thing is just have it local to the office. You don't have to invite that many people, but now you're helping them market their company while you're marketing your company, and you're both using the same method. But I see on Facebook all the time, come learn how to do Google Business all the time for realtors and loan officers. They teach the titles, trying to teach them things. This is just one more method to get people in the door and communicating with each other. And then you might find people that you like working with on this project.
Right.
And that's where it's going to be better for you in the long run, is that pitching that idea of doing it together. That's going to bode well for you. And Do I think if you're an insensitive person and you just really don't like the homeless and you don't want kids to be fed, don't do this as a marketing ploy. There's a million ways to market your business.
Right.
This is just one avenue. And, I have to say, who can refuse feeding the homeless or the children? That's a great project that you would want to be involved in. You get involved with your community, and that's one thing I teach in my marketing classes. Learn to understand your community so your community supports your business.
At the end of the day, people do business with people they like and trust. And so if people aren't doing business with you, it's either because they have somebody else they like and trust, somebody else that they're just used to working with. But if they like and trust you more, there's no reason why they wouldn't do business with you. If they like you, they know their clients are going to like you. That's all it is. And, I'll take this a step further and then we'll wrap it up here, Ronnie. But, remember in your community, if the goal is to be the number one notary, the notary in your community, don't limit yourself to just escrow title offices. You don't forget, we have lawyers, law offices, we have hospitals, connect with your chamber of commerce, put on an event with them. Let's do. Maybe you could do like a charity event, and you speak at it. Talking a little bit about your community. This is where now you can get everyone together, and then the Chamber of Commerce benefits because you're attracting new businesses potentially to join the chamber, and so leverage others and really remember it's not just escrow officers and title offices that can benefit from your notary services. There's the whole community as a whole can definitely benefit. And you're doing something nice, assuming you like it, right? Assuming you like kids, I think.
For those of you that do Ron, now I know there are a lot of Ron platforms that are well overpriced, but there are ones like eNotaryLog that have a flat rate, don't charge you per transaction fees, those sorts of things. You can learn more about those on Notary Stars under our Ron program. If you are a Ron notary, and I know your audience is permeating from California, so they may think Ron doesn't affect me yet, but the federal law just passed. I think it's going to come soon. If you're a Ron notary, consider offering any of your title clients that have veterans who are overseas or active military overseas, or any veterans that can't make it into the office for a single document. If they need a power of attorney to sell a home because they're overseas, offer that Ron service for free. Throw in what you can do for the community. And then here's the last thing is try to partner with a local school that you can take that food to. If they'll accept it, sometimes they won't accept food for legal reasons, but sometimes they need toys for the children. If it's in a bad area, partner with a school, because even if it's in a bad area, those parents still have to have a lot of forms notarized, and that can turn into, hey, we have this great notary that we love and trust. Try to find a way to make it a circle to whatever you do benefits you, the most. You can partner with a rehab facility that needs to bring cheer in to people, and I don't mean like drug rehabilitation, but I mean like the elderly that are going through rehab right now for the holidays, and they're not going to be with their family. That might be a place where you go, and then you have people that still need power of attorneys and all these things, and then that facility says, oh, you know what, you need a power of attorney while they're here, definitely call Abraham, definitely call Ronnie. You want to see if you can make it a full circle, and you can turn acts in the community into regular business.
Absolutely. No, absolutely. Yeah. And again, you got to get people to like and trust you. But before that, they got to get to know who you are. And this is a great way of doing that. Really fun, actually. I think we would enjoy it. Now, let's talk about some things you have going on, because I know we talked about Notary Stars in the past, and but a lot of people may not realize there's a lot of free stuff that you have on there, a lot of free education. I think you're having an event coming up with your Notary Stars Unlimited. And would you talk a little bit about that and kind of what it's about, so people have an idea of what it is and how they can get some more information if they're interested in tuning in?
Sure. I'm just looking at my phone because I looked at it before. So our next event is August 17th. It's once a month. We have an event called Notary Stars Unlimited. It's a play on words from Notary Stars and then my company, Unlimited Ink Notary. You can go to notarystars.com/unlimited. We have already filmed 7 episodes this year, and the 8th is coming up. It's actually about holiday marketing. We're going to be going even deeper than we went into this podcast. Hopefully this podcast will get out and circulate, and then we're going to have an even deeper event at Notary Stars to talk about holiday marketing. It's going to be right at the middle of August so that you can get prepared. What we do at Notary Stars Unlimited is wherever you should be in your business for the year, that month is filmed to go about that topic. So we started out with who are we as signing agents in January, and we went through 7 topics already. We have over 1,500 notaries that attend live or signed up to attend live, and it's always one of the largest events. We prepare the topics, but then it's open for conversation. You're more than welcome to participate. We really love what we do here at Notary Stars, and for those notaries who maybe can't afford training, these are excellent go-backs twos that you can do. We have a free training section on Notary Stars. This is a great chance to interact with us live, ask questions. You just need to sign up for the event. Zoom will notify you of the login link, and you only need to register once, and you can attend the rest of them. The rest of the year coming up, we have so much information still yet to come, all the way through the tax conversation at the end of the year. So wherever you are in your notary business or wherever you are in the year with your notary business, that topic is really geared toward what you should be thinking about. And you can use these as wash, rinse, repeat. We'll keep going with topics next year, but this is really where you should be in your business, January, February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. You have all of those based on where you should be in your business and what you should be thinking about.
Excellent. Yeah, and let me just speak as a member myself of Notary Stars. This stuff is incredible, and it's amazing how many different creative ways there are for you to grow, make more money, stay in business, grow your business as a notary. And I love it. I attend regularly his training courses, so definitely recommend that. And as a matter of fact, if you guys might have heard, I'm a proud affiliate of Notary Stars. So if you'd like my kind of quick overview of NotaryStars.com, you can always go to notaryentrepreneur.com/Notary Stars for sort of my quick review. And then underneath that, there's a little link that you can click on that'll take you through my affiliate link. That way you help support the show as well. So, and that brings us to the end of the show. So for those of you who tuned in, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, be well, stay productive, and take care, guys. See you soon.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Notary Business Talk. To learn more about becoming a notary entrepreneur or to find out how Abraham can help you achieve your business goals, visit notarybusinesstalk.com.